是来自中国教育电视台、中国教育网络电视台的记者。我的问题呢是想请问吴恒副主任委员的。那么去年全国人大常委会听取和审议了国务院关于推进城乡义务教育一体化发展、提高农村义务教育水平工作情况的报告。那么请问，在推进城乡义务教育一体化发展和提高农村义务教育水平方面，您认为目前存在的主要的问题有哪些？有什么好的解决办法吗？谢谢。
China Education Television, Vice Chairman Wu Heng. Last year, the NPC Standing Committee heard and deliberated State Council's report on advancing the integrated development of compulsory education in both urban and rural areas and enhancing compulsory education in rural areas. What are the major problems discovered in this regard, and what are the solutions?
好，谢谢这位记者的对义务教育的这个关注。
Thank you for your attention to the compulsory education in China. As we all know that the compulsory education is very necessary to strive for happiness and also contribute to the national development. The CPC Central Committee and the State Council attach great importance to compulsory education. As of today, we have witnessed ground-shaking reforms for the compulsory education in China. If you visit a rural area, you will see the most high-standard building is actually a school. And also, if you see a national flag, actually that is where the school lies. With the development of the market economy, as well as the urbanization, with increase of farmers' income, we have realized notable progress in rural revitalization. However, this has bringing some challenges for the compulsory education in the rural areas. First of all, we have limited space for the compulsory education, and the standard and the level for the compulsory education is quite weak. That is to say, we have very weak standard for the compulsory education in the rural areas. However, it is very difficult to secure a spot for compulsory education in urban areas. For rural areas, we have very weak faculties that serve the rural areas for the compulsory education, and the State Council and the CPC Central Committee have pointed out that the integration between urban and rural area for the education. That is to say, we actually impose same standards for the compulsory education in both rural and the urban areas. In 2018, the Standing Committee of NPC conducted supervision on the compulsory education in rural areas. The focus is on the integration for the compulsory education between rural and urban areas. According to the requirement from the Standing Committee of NPC, before the Standing Committee heard the report from the State Council, in between May and June, the Standing Committee had organized 3 to 5 times of survey for the compulsory education in rural areas. And this task actually was led by some of the leaders of the Standing Committee. They visited the Liaoning province and the Guizhou province. They focused on the surveys in the integration of compulsory education in rural and the urban areas. Throughout the survey, we found some challenges. First, it is an issue that relates to the infrastructure for the rural areas. We're talking about 2 types of school. The first one is the vocational school. The second one is a small-sized school, meaning that the number of students will be less than 50. For these 2 types of schools, we still see some inadequate development of the infrastructure. And also, we have to pay more attention to the resources. Even though we have made a lot of progress, but still we see some weak links in the faculty resources. In terms of the investment, we found that there was some misconduct from local government. According to the law on compulsory education, it actually covered up to counties. So local government across all levels should invest, support the local compulsory education. Throughout the survey, we found that the weakness lies in the compulsory education is in the rural areas. And the weakness of the rural areas, that is lack of faculty resources. In terms of the faculty resources in the rural areas, I would like to point out a few areas. First of all, the income level for the teachers is quite low. And also, they receive less support from the local government. Second, we also see the promotion system for the rural teachers are not satisfactory. Third, the living conditions for the teachers is not as comparable as those in the urban areas. This will make the position as a teacher less attractive in the rural areas. Now I'm just talking about the hardware. In terms of the software, I would like to further emphasize the weak links. First, we have to pay attention to the qualification and the standards for the group of teachers. I actually sat down with a group of teachers in the rural areas. One of the teachers told me that she or he is actually quite envy from those who are working in the urban areas. They're saying that those who are working in the urban areas, they can talk about their kids through the internet with their parents. However, this teacher was working in the rural areas. It's actually a remote area in China. It is actually a impoverished region. In that area, the internet service was not quite good. And this teacher felt very difficult to connect with the parents. It is quite difficult for him or her to integrate the compulsory education with the family education. So this is a new challenge for the compulsory education in rural areas. And also we can feel that for the qualification of the teachers in the rural areas, we have to improve the overall standard. So we have to consider what are some of the advantages in the high schools and middle schools in the rural areas. So the teachers probably should fully leverage all of these comparative advantages in the schools so that the students can better perform themselves.
So it's also an urgent job for us to increase the qualification of the rural teachers. So ask the questions for our next step. Number one, we will implement the requirements given by the NPC Standing Committee. And also, we will receive the feedback from DEA State Council. We will bring the feedback into our practice and make improvement. So we will have a very solid practice and exercise. Talk about DA increased qualification of the teachers and also provide better exchange opportunities for the teachers in the jurisdictions. I believe these are the two parts we can focus on. And through our further inspections, we also can better allocate the teaching resources. I believe we have a better tomorrow.